things are going wrong. So we have recommendations, and we definitely, it's ideal if this is done in consultation with a veterinarian, but we offer some recommendations for dietary and supplementary interventions that can be made to help correct for these kinds of overabundances. So, for example, Fusobacterium is a group which is really common in dogs and cats, not so common in people. If you have too much of it in your dog, it's been linked to being more likely to have inflammatory bowel disease. But if it lacks it, that's a problem as well. We found that if you increase protein content in their diet, it will help to increase it. And you can actually decrease it by adding small amounts of dietary fiber. So we should go through each group and we make some recommendations for ways to tweak things.
So you're not recommending a specific diet as much as saying we need to increase fiber content or protein content.
Yeah, that's basically the level that we're at. We're not going to try and make a food. We want to sort of see if you can make adjustments to the diet that you're already using.
And so what would you add as a fiber source if you had an animal that needed more fiber?
We started with some other things, but right now our favorites are inulin or acacia fiber. But there are a lot of fibers on the market. Those are two that we've been getting good results with.
And are those commercial products that somebody would just type that in and find that available?
Yeah, you can buy both of them organic on Amazon and other places.
Really? Okay. That's interesting. And then, if you're saying, okay, this pet would benefit from having more protein to, make these other bacteria flourish, do you have any insight for each individual pet as far as what that protein would be, or is it just pick one?
For us, it's just pick one. A lot of people are using sort of food sensitivity testing to try and also elimination diets to identify if there are any sensitivities to certain proteins. But yeah, so we can't tell which protein would be better from the microbiome.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know. Yeah, and I mean we do an awful lot of the blood testing. I have a lot of clients who use the salivary swab testing to look for IgG, IgM in the system to different proteins and food sources. And frankly, I take them with a grain of salt. Sometimes I'll get an animal that's positive to something just because that happens to be what their diet is made up of at the time. So, of course, they're going to have some antibodies to it. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's a full-blown allergy or sensitivity to that food. And I've also found it over the years, because we do so much with elimination diets in my practice, which for me, that elimination diet is not going to the grocery store and buying a different bag of food. That elimination diet is saying, okay, we are going to pick one thing and put that one thing in the bowl until we get this animal healed. And very commonly I'm using rabbit just because that is a really low allergen meat in my hands. And, then we just kind of add things one at a time and see what works and what doesn't. It's a really long process to go through that sort of elimination, but it will give you the best results in the long run. But what I've found over the years is a lot of these animals who were not able to handle, say, for instance, a chicken dry dog food. We put them on an elimination diet, get their gut healed, make them feel better, and a year later we are able to start feeding them fresh chicken and they're no longer reactive to it. Now, do you think that is just because we're making their microbiome healthy and now we've got a better spectrum?
I think it's complicated because the immune system is involved there. So when they get in a chronically inflamed state, then the immune cells are active, and so I think it's both the immune system as well as the microbiome.
Interesting.
It makes a lot of sense, though, that you're seeing that. That's consistent with sort of what we're finding, and I think that your approach is really the best.
I I will do the testing just because it's a little bit of a roadmap. It kind of, it's like, well, oh, look at that one. That came up. If our positive is anything over 100 and that one's sitting at 1,000, probably going to avoid it. If it's sitting at 101,
Exactly. I did the testing on myself years ago, and basically the food I ate the most was the ones that came up the most. But I wasn't having any digestive issues, so I didn't really worry about it. I just used it to eliminate food I didn't like from my diet.
That's pretty interesting. Yeah, my doctors thought I had an allergic reaction to seafood a few years ago, and so I went in and I had all the little, skin testing done to see what it was that I had reacted to, and I was negative for everything. Like, he's like, "Oh, you eat whatever you want. You're not allergic to anything." I was like, "Well, that's good to know." It ended up being something totally unrelated. It was not an allergic problem, but interesting to do. And I don't even know how accurate the skin testing is when we're talking food. I think for environmental allergens it's pretty good, but for food, I don't really know. I'm not an immunologist. That was probably right behind microbiology for the I don't like this class either. So, all right, so we get this test back from you that tells us our animal has an overgrowth in one direction or another. Then what do we do?
Right. So we do recommend, in general, sort of having a lower carbohydrate, higher protein diet. We have specific recommendations that sort of relate to that around the specific groups of bacteria. If they have a lot of E. coli, then we have some recommendations for that specifically, because you can't just do a fecal transplant to fix that.
Interesting.
For C. diff and C. perf, actually, it does seem to respond really well to the FMT approach. And I think my theory behind that is that Clostridium is a group that should have probably dozens of healthy strains that can be sort of lost, and that's what allows when Clostridium goes crazy, it's because its beneficial cousins have been lost from the system, and reintroducing them reestablishes a sort of balance to the community, and that's why FMT is more than 90% effective for a C. diff infection.
And FMT is?
A fecal microbiota transplantation.
So we're basically feeding poop.
Yeah. So because people were not satisfied with my telling them that their cat had chronic vomiting or chronic diarrhea because they had an imbalance in the gut, I developed a way of reintroducing these missing microbes with an oral fecal transplant capsule that we commonly call poo pills.
So we get poo pills and we shove them down our cats and we cure the problem.
Yeah, more than 80% of the time it works. Of course, there's times when there's some cats that are super sensitive, and dogs and cats that have been in a sort of chronically inflamed state, can be more reactive to anything. So we've sort of come to realize how essential it is to work on the diet and sort of try and settle things down first.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of one of those, people want supplements for things all the time, but they don't want to change the base problem, which a lot of times is the diet itself. And that's why I spend so much time talking about and working with my clients and their pets with, first of all, we have to fix the food. The food is the foundation of everything, and if we don't get that right, you keep putting junk in, you're going to keep getting junk out. So we've got to fix that. But then I think, with the testing that you're offering and the fecal transplant, we could see some amazing results. So it's time to take another break to hear from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to talk more about the fecal transplants or poo pills, where they come from, how we know, what's in there, what we need to give, are there different poo pills, all those kinds of things. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to get answers to all of those questions and more.
Interested in learning more? Visit Dr. Morgan's website at www.drjudymorgan.com, where you'll find detailed information about her blogs, a schedule of her upcoming speaking engagements, free information about integrative and holistic medicine, as well as an interactive forum where anyone can ask Dr. Morgan a question completely for free. Visit her website today to join the mailing list, where you'll find exclusive information and promotions only available to those select subscribers. Dr. Morgan is an accomplished author, having published several books about veterinary medicine and home cooking for your pets. You can find From Needles to Natural, detailing her journey from practicing traditional medicine to understanding the healing power of holistic practices today on Amazon Prime, as well as What's for Dinner Dexter and Canine Kitchen Capers, which are two great recipe books that you'll find both delicious and entertaining. When it comes to our pets' health, you can never be too careful. We invest significant time in ensuring that they have long and happy lives, but it's important to invest the same dedication into our own longevity. The key active ingredient in Dr. Morgan's wellness formula, pure New Zealand deer antler velvet, is now available as a standalone human-grade product. Life Deer Antler Velvet is a whole food supplement rich in calcium and collagen to support healthy joints and strong bones. Our products prioritize purity, ethical harvesting, and quality sourcing above all else. Visit lifepurerecovery.com to learn more and order your first bottle today.
Tune in to world-renowned author, speaker, and holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy Morgan, and now radio host of Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Monday and Tuesday, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure which vaccinations should be given or how often? Not sure which food is best for your individual pet? Find out the answers to your questions in this weekly show, where Dr. Judy interviews top experts and showcases the latest products that will help your pets stay naturally healthy.
Does your dog have bad breath? Tired of spending money on expensive dental procedures? Try out Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops today and save money while maintaining your pet's oral health. With New Zealand deer antler velvet as the primary ingredient, Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops are effective for treating stomatitis, gingivitis, and ulcers. You can purchase Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops directly from Amazon Prime or from her website, www.drjudymorgan.com. Dr. Morgan's Wellness Formula for dogs and cats provides multiple health benefits in one product. Made with all natural ingredients sourced from New Zealand, this supplement can be used routinely to maintain overall physical and mental well-being. This product is particularly beneficial for the maintenance of joint health, nerve and brain function, skin and coat health, immune function, gut health, and liver health. Find Dr. Morgan's Wellness Supplement today on Amazon Prime or at her website, drjudymorgan.com.
Welcome back to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on DreamVision7Radio.com. So Holly and I have been discussing poo pills and poo testing and kitty poo and dog poo, and this all started with the kitty biome project. So getting kitty poo from around the world, which is pretty cool. You wonder, do you have to label those packages so the postman knows you're handling kitty poo?
We do have to have a special customs form for those international deliveries, but I think because of veterinary medicine, there's a special exemption for kitty and doggy poo for diagnostic purposes.
That's pretty funny. Because I know we try to send, just kind of some regular stuff to Australia, and man, that they burn it every time. They're like, oh no, that's not coming in our country. So I don't know, maybe the U.S. is better.
we can't ship poo to Australia. Absolutely not.
Yeah, see, they won't even let you ship poo pills. They're pretty strict over there. So explain to us the poo pills. Where do they come from? What are they made up of? Are there different kinds of poo pills? Do we have dog pills and cat pills? Do we have 5 different flavors of cat pills and dog pills? What are they?
Great question. So we have basically created a donor bank of healthy stool from dogs and cats. And so, it's species specific. So cats for cats and dogs for dogs. It really does matter. And we're really trying to replace the current probiotics, which are based on bacteria that came from human infants and from soil for the most part.
Really?
We're replacing them with species specific anaerobic bacteria for the most part. these are harder to grow, and that's why they haven't been exploited yet by the probiotic industry, but they are foundational for health and so really important. And so we're really devoted to creating strains of them that we'll make available in the future. But for now, because nobody's been able to cultivate them, we are using donated material. We screen every single sale